Hello community! This is the reason why AI exists. Breakthroughs in medicine, new breakthroughs in material science, new development, new drugs in biotechnology, new medicine improve here human lives. So let's look at here today in particular at the protein design, then today the latest research for AI. Now, I know there's a lot of hype currently about this paper here, and you have here the link, and this is the title, Decoding the Molecular Language of Proteins here with a particular protein language generative AI model that decodes and interprets here the molecular language of our proteins, of our molecular machines that we have. And yeah, there's a beautiful overview over the system and a beautiful explanation. And you have here DPO and you have here reg and everything that we know. This is a classical structure. And if you look at the sequence compressor and at the sequence aligner, you find absolute familiar structure, cross-attention, feed-forward module, beautiful. But you know what? I think there's a complete different approach that nobody's talking about. So why not explore this one? Now, I don't know if you remember, end of May 2024, we had here this paper, a survey of diffusion probabilistic models and their application to biomolecules. This was a real important paper, Markov chain, Monte Carlo simulations, and it had some impact. And if you want to understand what is happening, I would recommend this video here where we talk about here an autoencoder structure, about the noising process, a denoising process. Maybe you're interested here, the variational autoencoder explained here with a Kullback-Leibler divergence mathematical functions. And this was right before diffusion took place. And then, of course, we have now our AI diffusion models. And you remember we have here two complementary phases. We have the forward diffusion process and the reverse diffusion process. And if you want, in this video, we looked at a new mathematical implementation via spin classes for our diffusion models here. Happened already months ago. But now today, let's look at diffusion models here in protein design, because now we have not only diffusion models, but we have AI agents. We have agents with a memory, we have agent with a function calling with particular tools, and we will see that we will utilize these tools now in the latest insights. Integration of energy function becomes now really important. Diffusion model can incorporate this potential energy function here derived from our classical thermodynamic understanding to bias the reverse diffusion process toward physical meaningful conformations. Now, for example, models might use here pairwise interaction potential or whatever to ensure that the generated conformations align with the thermodynamic stability. We want to have stable proteins. Plus, we are here applying here our insight in the theoretical physics of thermodynamics here, and this governs, if you want, the dynamic equilibrium of our molecular systems. So therefore, by coupling now our new diffusion models, our new AI models with specific tools, and those tools are the molecular dynamics simulation, some very intelligent researcher here in academia can now predict time-evolved behavior like the folding pathways in our three-dimensional protein structure or other changes. Of course, we have hybrid approaches, but this is beside the point. But this protein design is not only here about achieving minimal energy states. No, we can maximize here the entropy in certain contexts here for the functional flexibility. And this is also really important because why? If you think about functional proteins, remember, if we calculate the entropy contribution here in the diffusion models, they can generate ensembles of different structures rather than a single protein 3D configuration. And this is exactly what we observe in real time in nature. Therefore, if we generate here from our AI simulations here an ensemble of protein structure, this is really what we are looking for here in the real-world functional protein dynamics. We want to design particular proteins that are not only geometrically plausible, but are also thermodynamically viable. Those proteins should be stable, and they should, as we just talked about here, integrate our thermodynamic constraints. Now, you have guessed it all along. We are talking here heavily about computational biology, and this is here the development of novel proteins. And we want specific structural and functional properties of our proteins. And we will have a look that a structural property and a functional property is not as easy to kind of simulate with an AI model. And we will have a look how to solve this. Inherently, this problem is NP hard due to the exponential growth of the combinatorial space of all the possible protein conformation as the size of our protein increases. So we are encountered here with a real problem. So let's come to the solution that we have today, January 7th, 2025. Protein design by AI for medicine, material science, biotechnology. And you might say, why? But think about medicine, new drugs, new therapies, and material design, novel biomaterials, or biotechnology. We have to optimize our enzyme for all the industrial processes. And this starts with food processing to whatever you imagine in industrial processes. Enzyme play a significant part here in further optimizations. Now, a little tiny bit of mathematics, because this is so important. Now, the key to our physical reality simulation of our protein structures and function is equivariance. Why? Because our protein structures, I don't know if you've seen one already, exist here in a three-dimensional space. So all our AI models must be aware of spatial transformation that might happen, plus those proteins here in a liquid solution. So equivariance now means simply that if you rotate, translate, or reflect here a protein structure, the model's output should transform in the same way. If you remember Mathematics University, we have the Euclidean group, pure mathematics, E3. This group consisted here of all the functions concerning rotation, reflection, and translation in 3D. Models that are E3 equivariant are better at preserving here the physical validity of our generated protein structure, and they are particularly useful if we do here the protein frames, but more about this later. Another real important group that we are actually working with is here SA3, our special Euclidean group, refers here to the richer transformation, rotation, and translation that preserves here the particular object's volume. Now, most models use here this special E3 group, but developing here an AI diffusion model is particular for the general E3 group is still a challenge as of today. You remember I told you about the sequence model and the structure model? Let's have a look at the sequence model. We have a lot of mathematical and theoretical physical approximations. So we know a number of sequence level generative models based on transformer like this. But the aim, of course, is to learn how to write new protein sequences, and those models are great. But how can we improve? And the same is true here for the protein structure. And you have here 1, 2, 3 different, Gini 2, of course, different models that use here this equivariance really as an inherent property. Now, by learning now complex probability distribution underlying here the protein structure and the protein sequence data, we would like to generate novel proteins for all the industrial sectors with our designed properties. We have specific use cases and we want to assign these properties. Imagine if we would develop new medicine or some particular implementation that are really individual based. In general, you can say, if you want to have a deep dive here, we have here the discrete version of our denoising diffusion probabilistic model, our DDPM, and then, of course, just think about an integral. We have now continuous version, and we call this, or the authors call this, the score-based generative models. So if you do a discretization, here we have our DDPM. Otherwise, if you really go for a continuous flow SGM. They are mathematically quite solved. This is rather easy. You see here continuous form. The following stochastic differential equation have this transition distribution here. Standard Wiener process. reversal SDE probability flow ordinary differential equation, preserve here the marginal distribution for our parameters, and yeah, show you a paper. You have all of this in detail in Appendix B, and I highly recommend if you are new to the topic, they give an excellent explanation. So this paper here, that is our main paper today, this is a paper I would like to show you because I think this paper has a huge potential in explaining more or less what is happening today. It gives you some beautiful insight. There are multiple annexes where they describe in detail the state of the art of the technology here for protein design, for protein engineering. And they start here with some simple thermodynamics from theoretical physics, and they work here with diffusion models for biomolecular generations towards autonomous protein engineering. Autonomous, I would make a question mark, it's autonomous, but I get the idea. Great. So whatever we can generate on new biomolecular compound structures, taking here our insights from theoretical physics, going here back to mathematics, our group structures, our symmetries, our equivariants. This is how we do this. And you see, the complexity that we are working with is really high. Yeah, the authors, great authors, by the way. I was asked to present the authors, more famous. Okay, those are the authors. And you have here University of Paris. Then we have Department of Computing, Imperial College London. Department of Computer Engineering in Chile. Department of Bioorganic Chemistry, Leibniz Institute in Germany, National, yes, in Bangalore, India. Beautiful. Have a look at this. I highly recommend this. This is the link on arXiv, published for me just 2 days ago, January 5th, 2025. And this is a paper on protein design. I would highly recommend if you're interested here in the AI development, particular for protein design, structural and functional attributes of new proteins. Now, as I told you, we have with our proteins, of course, functional three-dimensional structure. We integrate now our insights by thermodynamics here, finding the global or local minimum at the energy landscape. So we have here our thermodynamic interaction among the amino acids, the solvent molecules, and other environmental factors we are in solution. And then our diffusion AI models, when we apply this to our protein design, implicitly or explicitly generate now conformations that need, of course, to align with the energy minima and ensure stability. We have here our thermodynamic principle, guide the model so that we have now energetically favorable structure in our design. Now we have a condition that our new proteins must be stable, so we have here balance between the enthalpy and the entropy, of course, and then we have some other thermodynamic constraints. Beautiful. We can take care about this. Plus, we can also use it here in another really important area, protein-ligand interaction and the protein-ligand co-design that we can use now diffusion models for. Great. So this is here a beautiful, from this paper that I just showed you, the main paper of today, this is here beautiful. They show you here diffusion model. How many diffusion models do we have currently? I think it's 56 or 58, 56 different models here. And they explain in detail here what model belongs here to what idea, how it is implemented here, which is great. But if you really want to learn about this, I would recommend here Annex B. They have here really the loss function, the Kullback-Leibler divergence. So they start with given two distribution and a Kullback-Leibler divergence here. Then they have the rational autoencoder loss is bound by this, and this is expanding. And if we have conditional diffusion models, and they really give you here the mathematical deduction of the conditional score function that we are going to work with. Plus, they explain in beautiful details here in Annex D the relationship between permutation invariance and permutation equivariance. We will use this in the calculation. And it shows you also here the different mathematical groups, O3, SO3, E3, and SE3, that we can apply that are important in our calculation. So therefore, just to give you here a short overview, these are the different models explained here in simple words for a sequence and for a structure. I have here this explanation for you if you're interested in a little bit more detail. If you are interested to work in this topic, to go and say, I want to apply AI for the development of new medicine, for new drugs, for whatever, new enzyme for industrial processes. This is absolutely a hot topic, which is amazing. Now, in this paper I showed you today, there are limitations. Let's be clear. We have our proteins here in solution. I told you this. Therefore, integrating whatever we have today is great, but of course there are new challenges ahead. So incorporating time-dependent modeling frameworks could provide further insight into the dynamic behavior, such as the folding pathways, if we have here a variation in the solution itself, or we have a different environment, a different environmental parameter to our computer simulation. So there is a huge area of AI research waiting how to design proteins in the future. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I've given you a short overview, some interesting literature. If you want, have a deep dive. There's some beautiful explanation. I cannot go into detail in this 20-minute video here, but all of these facts are waiting for you to be implemented. And if you have some great ideas, like you subscribe to this channel, I see you in my next video.